Hi guys, my name is Matt. I'm gonna do a quick video on this E46 that I'm gonna be working on. There's a few little bits and bobs that it's new in, and hopefully someone can learn something from it. I've done 36 cars in the last 10 years and I've never recorded any videos, and it's a shame actually because some of them were real challenging cars to do and they all back on the road now. I tend to buy stuff that is about to be scrapped off, or maybe high mileage, or maybe just a unique car sometimes that needs saving. This one isn't a unique car, it's a standard pre-facelift 2001 E46, but it has some issues which I think it'd be good to show, because I'm sure a lot of people have the same challenges regardless of what car they buy in. There you go, so this is the underneath the chassis, and I'm gonna post some photos of it. It's been scrubbed and washed and is now dry. It does feel solid underneath, so I'm not too worried about this. So just gonna convert the rust that we can see and seal it with wax oil, or maybe UV wax. We'll see. So whatever areas I can get the brush onto, I brush this built hammered converter on. So I'm gonna get it on everything that I can get to. Everything else will just spray some Fertan on it because it's a lot more viscous and it can get into places. These bubbly corners, I just give it a bit of a wire brush and converter again. And next we got Fertan, and we're gonna put that in there, and then I have a different attachment to spray the chassis with. Actually came with US Pro set. All the rust converter applied now, nice and dark. We're gonna let it convert for 24 hours. It should dry. It's a bit like a zinc primer because it's actually got a zinc layer to it, so it's a rust preventive layer. And on top of that we're gonna put some Dynax. While we're here, we're gonna check the brakes. Nothing major, no full service, but we will check the condition of the seals, make sure nothing's cracked, get rid of this rust here with a wire brush, but make sure we don't damage the seal in the process. So a little bit of wire brushing, make sure to wear the mask because this stuff is not good for you. Brake pads, fine, we'll leave them, they look good. Sliding pins, well, we're gonna have to tidy them up a little bit, okay? So there's a little bit of rubber transfer over here. Clean on the pins is to stick them on the drill like this. That one's already been polished. You put a little bit of paste on the cloth, you wrap around the pin, you spin the pin, and then you get rid of all that build up. The pin looks pretty good. That went on beautifully. US Pro applicator, that's the number. This is a must-have for any undercoating. I mean, it's just so nice and clean. The efficiency of it is unbelievable. I've got the same 5-litre Dynax for ages now. I put a little bit of white spirit in it, probably around 20 to 30%. I warm it up and it flies through the chassis all the way to the back. Okay, it looks a little bit dirty and sticky, but it's gonna dry nice black, sort of dark brown matte color. Yeah, so we moved to front suspension now. Is exactly the same as before. We get rid of all the flakes first. Get rid of all the flakes, all this rust that needs to be removed. Little spiders. Run, little guy. They don't like to run away. Come on, man. There you go. Get out. Okay. Yeah, patience. Get rid of all that rust. Okay, so quick grab of the chassis clean. The greaser mostly. There we go. I'm gonna scrub it a little bit with a brush. Favorite part is the wash down. Actually, maybe not in the autumn because it's a bit cold now. And yeah, but the bottom of this engine is so much cleaner now. So I've got rid of all the oil that ran down from valve cover and also the chain cover here. So this is brilliant. Okay, this is as good as I want it. I don't want any better than that. This is good enough. Everything's been washed down, so now there is no contaminants. It's all nice and wide arches. This is just the surface rust now that's been flaked off, so we'll be able to treat it tomorrow. The Dynax is amazing. I washed the chassis underneath, then it turned silver in so many places. But where the Dynax is, you can't move it. Even with this pressure washer, which ripped through my glove, you can't get rid of Dynax. Dynax amazing. So really productive evening. Just quick catch up. Instead of changing the whole assembly, I've just replaced the roller. So there's a new Fabi idle tensioners. There you go. And that's the old one. It's already making noise. Even in my hand, I can hear. It's not very good. Yes, these are brand new. Third land is drying, so we got rust converter on, front suspension this time. And the biggest job, all four corners are healthy, but we had a bit of rust here, which I just cut out. And I am pleased to find that it's solid, okay? No rust in the seal at all, okay? All this is brown Dynax and Dinitrol, but there is no rust. It's clean. So basically we had just this first 1 mil rusted, and all the structural bits are healthy. So all we're gonna do is clean this up, and we make ourselves a new piece that we're gonna weld on top of this one here, and we just blast more wax inside it, and that's gonna last another 20 years, no problem. So yeah, I'm very happy. I was worried when I seen the hole because I thought the jacking point is all rot, and it's not. You can see here that was the 1 mil plate on top of it, but the rest of it is healthy. I'm very happy. Done some welding. It's not the prettiest, okay? I'm not that good at welding, but I think this is good enough. Obviously I'm gonna tidy it all up. I'm taking a break, and I've done the PCV valve, the oil separator. Very easy to do. Taking a bit of a break. Weather was rubbish. Pissing down sideways, and I've actually caught pretty bad flu, so no progress for last week, but it's weekend now, so we're gonna do a few things today. Tensioners will go back on with the new bearings. I've ordered some bearings. These are SKF, so 2 of those. We got idle control valve, because that one's cracked. I glued it, but I don't like the fact that it's just been sort of patched up. Then you've got Delphi drop links, and we've got a color match BMW 354, which is Titan silver, and we've got a clear coat. Other than that, leaves everywhere, very windy. Calipers cleaned, painted, pretty good. Suspension is all dry, ready to underseal. We welded up the patch. There you go, covered in zinc epoxy primer. So we're gonna spray that today. We're gonna be using Dinitrol ML for the sills and any other closed cavities in this sort of 4-way fashion. You put it in your cavities, spray some in, rotate the nozzle, do it again. Sometimes shallow ones, you do the best you can, like here. There here is sort of a gas form, and then it settles, so you can see it coming out from the other hole. So I just finished using the Dinitrol. It's almost empty. All the cavities are full of that stuff. All the crappy jobs are done. Under seal, thin layer only on the areas that are not exposed to water, like this one, because we got a liner going here. Thick layer on everything that's exposed to salt and water, including the struts. Underneath we've got a thin layer here. It's all brown, it was silver, and a lot of wax inside there. I reckon I put liter each. I mean, look how amazing this looks. This Dynax is amazing. Not much light in there, but that looks awesome. It's been a long day, and I tell you why, guys. So most things are ripped out. Actually, the coolant system was easy. It's not a biggie. Getting that inlet manifold lifted up was a little bit of a problem. Main issues is this elbow there. Getting it in, I had to have the manifold in the air. There are a few bolts on the manifold, but that's not what's problematic. Is the fuel lines and all the wires. 24-year-old car, obviously a lot of things you touch and they just break. But all the pipes on the back are all replaced. There is an elbow which I can't see, I could only feel. That's replaced. So we've got basically, something just dropped on the tray. So basically have all the plastics of our heating systems are done. Okay, so all these new hoses made by Gates are in place. Very happy. But today I'm just trying to close the night off because it's just a mess here. Look at that. I need to tidy up. But what we're gonna do, I'm gonna fit as much stuff as I can back and then leave just this area open so I can figure out what to do with the valve cover gasket. The valve cover's on. Front engine covers back on. I had problems with that gasket. I read about it, and everyone on the forum said that's normal. Apparently that mismatch is normal, and you're supposed to apply a little bit of slick in there. So I've done the gasket spray all around. Unfortunately, one of the threads was broken. It's still tightened, but only to like 8 Nm instead of 10. I'll leave that. All other screws tightened to 11 Nm, 10 Nm. This is 11 Nm. So make sure you use torque wrenches on these jobs. Best torque wrenches out there, probably Norba. Definitely Norba. I've got several of these Nortorks. These things are amazing. So yeah, if you're doing jobs like this, get yourself a torque wrench. That is finished. Pulleys are next. It's a bit of a mess, so gonna be a little bit of cleaning. That's why I got brush in my hand. That was my hand. Okay, new sensor installed right there. Right there, I think you might see it. How do you know it's a tight access? Yeah, it's looking pretty good. So we've polished up the engine a little bit and we applied that stuff on the plastic. So basically we put a bit on the plastic like this, and then you grab a brush and you just, sorry, I'm doing it with my left hand. Just change hands. Okay, so you rub it in the plastic and let it work. It's an annoying sound. I changed the bearings. I can still hear it. I think it's probably the water pump pulley. I'm gonna have to look at that later. Problem is, if I can hear that pump, this is inner pump. I swear by this brand normally, but I don't know. It just feels like it's making noise. And the thing is, I can feel some clearance on that bearing already. It's a brand new pump. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take off. I took off the belts. So this is brand new. This is brand new pulley from SKF. and it could be that, maybe it was making noise, but it definitely sounds like it's from here. Making any noise. See? No noise, no belt, no noise. The bearings, I can still hear it. I think it's probably the water pump pulling. No noise. It sounds really good. Okay, so we did a fuel filter. It was nice and easy. Actually, it's quite a nice access down there. I've started it once already, and the vacuum pump popped open and started making a lot of noise. And I found that all the rivets were broken around it. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know who's used the rivets. The rivets weren't riveted; they were just hanging. So I've replaced them with screws. This little thing here is another one of the really good purchases. Okay, it cost probably around 80 to 100 pounds. I've been using it on every single car I've ever owned, and it's really good. So basically, you put some baby oil in this thing, it starts smoking. You put that in your air intake. What you do, you plug this together. There you go. Then you take a torch, and it will pressurize the system. This one is not very high pressure. The basic model is not very high pressure, but already. There you go. Forgot to make a connection straight away. Where is that pipe then? That's smoking pretty bad. There you go. I think I ran out of baby oil. Okay, we're gonna plug it up. Gonna turn it off so it doesn't overheat. And we try again. Plus, you need to get the smoke to dissipate. Guys, I've got something that improved the smoke detection test. So basically, I've connected that to the top. It's not a pressurized system, but what you do, you blow into it gently, and you see I found a leak. There is a leak. So basically, the casing's cracked. I've melted the crack basically, so what happens is just the material falls on itself and creates a really nice rough surface finish for the glue application. So I'm gonna apply some GB weld, and I personally think that's gonna probably do it. Yeah, it's awesome. There's no pressure now. No leaks. All done. The next one up, transmission fluid, real simple. Bloody hell, upside down. Okay, sorry, a bit tight in here. So always do the fill hole first, because you don't want to drain your fluid and then not be able to undo this. That was a bit of a hard work. This is now ready. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get that out of the way. Let's see. Okay, so that's a fill hole. We're gonna have to pump the oil here using that little squishy thing. We're gonna drain the oil. There you go. Oh, that's pretty clean. Look how clean that is. Okay, that's a brand new transmission oil. Well, how could I know? Anyway, what we're gonna put in, more tool stuff. So a friend of mine has got E46. I asked him how reliable it was, and he's got a 325i, and he said, well, the only thing that failed was a fuel pump at 100k. Well, this car is 100k. Well, all you do is take this connection off. That's the Jubilee clip. Then you've got a connection here, electrical connection underneath that plate. And all we're doing here, I don't have a special tool, but I reckon you can feel it moving. So I hit it with a hammer here once, and again, and then you do that, and this starts twisting. I'm gonna hoover up all around here first, because I don't want to lift this off and all this crap get into the tank. And second thing, I don't really want to take it off right now, because it's gonna smell of fuel, there'll be fumes everywhere, and I don't actually have a fuel pump yet. The fuel pump's coming tomorrow. While the underneath is converting, we're gonna do some work inside. So we've got these pretty worn here. Trim's damaged though. We've got Here I don't like none of these damages on here. We've got a little bit more damage here. We've got key or ring damage on this. There's a little bit more on the door side there. Okay, so all the interior came off. I would say 10 minutes. 10-minute job. Center console out. Trim around the gear out. Stereo out. That trim actually looks pretty good, so I'm gonna leave it as is. We're gonna move the aircon and temperature control unit from up here. We're gonna move it down here. So a lot of people have different ways of removing this plastic coating. I use 2K thinner, a little bit of silicone remover. I mix it into a little bit of a jelly, and maybe some would think it's too aggressive, but if you wipe it off quick enough, it's really good. As you can see, I think the 2K is doing that. It's really easy. So yeah, we're just gonna scrape it all off. All primed now. Came out pretty good. Doesn't need to be perfect because next what's coming up it's textured paint. And here we are, 2K bed liner. Came out really good on the first mirror. Came out a lot coarser on the second mirror. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap the interior up with this microfiber, which is actually an imitation of Alcantara. So all we do is mark around it, leave ourselves a little bit on each side, cut out, and then with a little bit of heat gun, I'm just gonna apply it the same way you apply vinyl wrap. This came out excellent, so it's like a soft touch. Changes color slightly when you touch it, but I love it. That's what it looks like with buttons inserted. And we actually changed some because some were broken. Another quick thing, steering wheel, bottom trim, sprayed it silver. Okay, so we're doing stereo now. I must admit it's a little bit messier than I was hoping for. Well, all crimped together. It doesn't look any cleaner though. Yeah, let's test it. Good news, this works as it should. Awesome. It's not bad for 60 quid. On the rear speakers now, because the front doors are off. But yeah, that's awesome. Done. Stereo wise, we went from this Frankenstein of a mess to just a straight cable. Okay, so this is just an ISO loom. One more item is this one here. I'm gonna use a contact adhesive. I'm gonna spray it but away from that edge there. Then I'm gonna spread it with like a brush or something, and then put it back on. Make sure it stays. And now we're gonna start washing the seats. So basically, like a spot washer here. It's amazing, but it's hard work. So what you do, you spray the washer on, spray the liquid on, rub it in like that. But yeah, you wouldn't believe what you find in relatively clean seats. This is basically black water, and this seat wasn't even that bad. A quick presentation on how we're masking off the elements of the seat before we dye the material. So that's right before. As you can see, it gives it that a little bit more depth. That's it. Just a little bit more, and also it gets rid of the areas that are blends in the previously sun damaged areas, but not not that well. It'll look presentable enough, and it's definitely worth what, 7 quid for the bottle. That probably does 2 seats and some carpets, but it's not going to bring it back to life fully. Obviously take advantage of the fact that no seats, so we just hover the best we can this interior it's starting to look really good now. I like the design. I actually prefer it over some of the modern Beamers. I think it's still got that modern classic look. Bodywork on this car looks really good. I have noticed one thing that's a little bit annoying, and I don't know if I'm gonna be doing this or not. So these bubbles underneath, someone's put some paint on here. Well, I think I'm gonna have to sand this back because I don't want this to get worse. This is the time to save this fender. Let's see the other side. No, we're good. You see, this is the stuff the wax I've used. Next, we're going to do a little smart repair because this is not going to be anything too pretty. But I decided to do that. I've done a million of times the same way. But basically what I did, I decided not to mask anything off because that is to be polished, so any overspray I can polish off. And what I did just dusted some base coat, which sort of landed up to here, and then I used something we call a tack wipe to pick up any loose dust after it was dry. Then I did a base coat. Sorry, the base coat went on first, and then I did something called thin out. It's like a thin out blend in spray. What you do, you just hit the edges of what you just sprayed on with the thin out. What it does is sort of dissolves the silver coat, and it lets it blend with the titanium silver that was already on there. And then at the very end, I go clear coat, one tacky spray, then I dry it with a heat gun, and then I do a second coat, which is a lot heavier coat, just right here, and that will be fine. Again, there's no issues with this. That's gonna last many years. Okay, so we got here, we got headlights ready now. What I did, I put the halo rings because I thought, why not? They're already here. So I glued the halo rings in place. They had clips, but the clips don't hold that well, so I've used the glue. That's the normal adhesive sealant. So all routed tidy, routed here. All these cables are new. This is a relay, and the idea is that the trigger is on the internal light switch. Okay, so basically every time this gets positive, which is when you open the car, this is interior lights, the halos will go off. At the same time, there is another trigger, which is the actual day running lights. So that means when I lock the car, they should be off, and when I unlock the car, they should go on, just like that. Boom. Liquid Elements polisher. I had a few, and this is by far the best polisher you can get for the money. Sonax cut and finish. Well, this is a lazy person's polishing compound. Discount code EVO. The application, it is so easy, and I still have year and a half later on my Mrs. Volvo, you can still see a water beading. The ceramic coat is still there. The car polish, excellent, almost perfect all around. Okay, there are some problems which I don't want to fix, okay, because it's too much time, money and effort. This scratches here, that was all the way here and all the way to the middle door. As you can see, this is gone. This I think is too deep. It catches a nail. That is a bad sign. That's gone through the clear, and we can see the white. It's gone to the base, or maybe a primer. That's gone to the base, that's gone to the primer. Okay, that needs a respray. I've just clogged up the hoover with the amount of leaves all around here. I've removed the plastics, so I'll give them a bit of a wash and clean this all down, because we still need to fix that rubber seal. It's all perished. The original BMW cover for that vent by the windscreen. Look at that. Okay, That one's not perished. I'm just gonna give it a bit of a clean, but that is gone. So we're gonna trim it with a knife and then install a new seal and see what it looks like. We are on the finish line. The car's almost ready and it looks pretty good. Okay, I've not Cerakoted it yet. I've taken a few days off because the weather was horrific. But the car's ready to Cerakote, so we're gonna have to dry it today. We're gonna apply some Cerakote. I'm gonna show you how I apply Cerakote on. Ceramic coat is just, I'm not gonna show you because I don't have a tripod. But all it is just with this Cerakote, you just miss the panel and you buff it off straight away. You buff it off, and then as you buffing it off, you're leaving a few micron layer on the surface. Same here. Spray panel at the time because that thing dries like a glass, and if you overspray, you get a little run. So you put like a little sprayer here, which I had 3, but they all clogged up now, I think. You missed it, wipe it off, 1 year protection. Unbelievable. Halfway through to Poland. We are 960 kilometers in. Beautiful little town. We're about to have dinner and she is doing amazing. Okay, we made it. 2,000 kilometers. Poland. And the car did very well. Anyway, project done.